What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in. This is Lance Corey and we are in the Thrashin Supply Garage. Today, we're gonna talk about putting risers and bars on your Road Glide. So we're gonna show you guys our entry-level setup with the Road Glide riser adapter, and then we're also gonna show you guys our all-new gauge relocation and top tree, and everything you need to know about getting this set up on your bike. This is something that we've been doing for a couple years now at Thrashin Supply, and we're gonna show you the different options. I'm gonna bring Juan in on this and he's gonna help me explain what you need to get so that you can set up your Road Glide and get it dialed. All right, before I get into the nitty gritty, I wanna let you know that all of these components will work on a 2014 to current Road Glide. And so basically, right now we're in year 2022. If you end up watching this video a couple years down the road, follow back up on our website and specify that the bikes have not changed or these components haven't changed. But 2014 to 2022, you're good to go. I am on a Road Glide right now that is using our Road Glide riser adapter. And I have Juan over here. He's gonna bring you the setup and show you what it's all about. Basically, this is a stock tree. The Road Glide riser adapter comes up about 2.5 inches and brings you back about 1.5 inches. And the reason why we do this is because on the stock bike, the gauges are right in the way to where you couldn't get risers to go up and through. When you do that, the stock lock still is there, but the lock does not turn all the way to where the lock still works and the auxiliary works. You can use it to start your bike. This setup is a great entry-level setup. You need 4 components. Perch clamps. The reason why you need these is the stock perch clamps are too long and they have a pin that makes you where your levers can go, and that setup does not work on an aftermarket set of bars. You get our Thrashin Billet perch clamps, and then you need a set of risers. A lot of our customers really like this setup with the 6-inch straight or the 6.5-inch pullback. This allows the customer to still see a majority of their gauges, have their hands inside of the fairing and be very comfortable. Your perch clamps, you have your risers, and then a set of handlebars that you're comfortable with, and then the Road Glide riser adapter. Those 4 components and you're rock and rolling. It's a great entry-level setup to get your Road Glide more performance oriented and comfortable. All right, so Juan, I know you're handling technical support a lot. What kind of questions do you get with customers that are trying to do this setup on their bike?
So I get asked a lot, how high can I go? And the maximum height we recommend is 14.5 inches combined height. That includes the height of the pullback plate, riser, and handlebar. Another thing to keep in mind is that with our pullback plate, you will no longer need to use bushings because it's solid mounted, so you don't have to worry about that.
And so if you're one of the many customers that is enjoying this setup on your bike already, and all you want to do is relocate your gauges, we now offer the carbon fiber and billet gauge relocation. And yes, you will be able to put this gauge relocation on your setup in a beautiful visible position. At that point, you would be removing your nacelle. You would be grabbing your gauges from here. This setup does come with the wiring needed, and you do want to keep in mind, pay attention to what top clamp you have. You need a top clamp with the 2 bolt holes in the top. If you do not have one on your current setup, you will have to add that to your cart, and it will be on the page. Now, let me go over to my bike and show you guys the raddest setup that we just came out with. This kit has billet, made in America, carbon fiber, gauge relocation, lockable top tree. Let's head over there. And so here I'm sitting on my 2020 Road Glide. Virtually it's the same bike from 2014 to 2022 and possibly on. On this bike, I have the all new Road Glide gauge relocation. It's a project we've been working on for a while and it looks beautiful. Lets you see all your radio, all your gauges, and you're able to articulate it to get it really where you want, depending on the height of the rider and the comfort and the vision that you need. I've got Juan over here and he's gonna help us explain everything you need to get this Road Glide relocation.
Basically, the first thing you're gonna get is the relocation kit right here. It's gonna come with the carbon backing. It's gonna come with the extension harness, the gasket, and the faceplate along with the hardware. Now, another thing you will have to purchase when you're looking at this relocation kit is the mount. It's gonna rely on which risers you're running. This mount kit right here is for our OG risers, and then this one mounted here is for a whole shot riser. So like Lance mentioned earlier, It will work with both styles. You just have to select the right one. So a lot of the customers have been asking whether or not we'll be able to run the gauge relocation in the front or the back. The answer is yes. To run it in the back, you're gonna need this extension link. It'll be available on our site when everything else drops. So that'll be the only thing you need. We're gonna go over to Lance and he's gonna talk to us about the top tree.
All right, so gauge relocation's rad, and to top it off, our top tree is even better. So this is American made, and the cool part about it is this is lockable. As you can see, I have this trap door right here. You're able to lock your bike. I'm not gonna lock it now, but what I'm gonna show you, we did get some questions, is will this hit your gas tank? And I can spin the bars with the door open and it does not hit the gas tank. And then what I can do is I go all the way to the lock position. All I have to do with my finger is press it down. Bars are now locked, ready to be parked for a overnighter, and I can close the door and then the lock is discreetly hidden. That's one of the key rad features on this. And then another rad feature is that there's 2 locations for your risers to be mounted to. One that is actually closer than the stock location. I'm gonna send it back to Juan. Juan's gonna show you that on a tree that's on the table, everything you get and how it works.
So here we have our billet top tree. As Lance was mentioning earlier, it's gonna have the 2 locations. Obviously, we didn't want them to both be visible, so we came out with this little cover, and you basically select which location you want closer to you or the stock location. They're about 1.5 inches apart. It's really comfortable, and you could dial it in whichever way you want. It's gonna come with keys. It's gonna come assembled like this, how you see it, and it will also come with the hardware to mount your risers. This top tree will not require the use of bushings also. It's gonna be hard mounted to improve the handling of the bike. And one last thing to consider is that if you're currently running our Road Glide adapter plate, it will not be compatible with our new tree, and you're gonna be losing that 2.5 inches of height. So keep that in mind when you're upgrading to our new top tree and when you're deciding what risers you're gonna go with on the new setup.
So now that you guys saw the whole setup for these Road Glides, from our Road Glide riser adapter to our all new tree to our gauge relocation, I'm gonna give you guys a quick once over on what you need to run this gauge relocation. You need to get a set of bars and risers. I recommend our billet perch clamps because you can't use the stock ones on a Road Glide. The top tree, and then the gauge relocation, and just make sure that when you grab the gauge relocation, you grab the mounting hardware that is working for your risers. You get all this, we are gonna have an install video on how to throw this on your bike in a couple hours, and you could dial in your bike just like this and enjoy the open road. Thank you guys so much for checking this out, and you're gonna be stoked on your Thrashin riser setup.